Hello and welcome. You are watching World Business Report, where we get you all the latest from the world of business, economy, finance, technology, entertainment and more. I'm Krishna Kumar. We begin with Elon Musk's Tesla, which has announced plans to manufacture its highly anticipated affordable electric car priced at $25,000 in India and Mexico, but only by the year 2025 or even later than that. Tesla CEO Musk revealed that production will leverage existing factories to maximize capacity before considering new manufacturing lines. With global facilities in Texas, Fremont, Berlin and Shanghai, Tesla aims to meet the soaring demand, targeting a 50% production increase by the year 2024 ends. This aligns with the government mandates in India and Tesla's roadmap to introduce new models by mid-2025. Musk reassured investors during an earnings call that despite major cost implications, utilizing current infrastructure enables Tesla to optimize its 3 million vehicle capacity before expanding further. Anticipation is building as Musk confirmed production kickoff for the new vehicle lineup, dispelling doubts about the company's commitment to affordable electric mobility. Tesla announced its shift towards introducing new models by early 2025, utilizing its existing platforms and production lines. And this move marks a departure from previous plans for an all-new model expected to be priced at $25,000. This report tells you more.
Tesla appears to have axed plans for a cheaper model that was set to cost around $25,000. That tallies with earlier Reuters reports that boss Elon Musk had cancelled the all-new Model 2. At the time, he posted on X that Reuters is lying, but failed to point out any inaccuracies in the report. On Tuesday, the EV maker said it would introduce cheaper new models early in 2025, but details on the products were in short supply. Musk wouldn't say whether they would be all new or updates of existing vehicles. Tesla said the models would use aspects of current platforms. It warned that cost reductions might not be as great as under previous plans, suggesting any new cars won't hit the $25,000 starting price that Musk has long promised. Even so, the news sent Tesla shares sharply higher in after-hours trade, gaining as much as 12.5%. The stock had seen months of declines amid signs of rising competition and falling sales. On Tuesday, Tesla also promised to unveil an advanced robotaxi without saying when. Musk says the firm should really be viewed as an AI robotics firm as a result, not as a car maker. The news all came as Tesla reported a fall in quarterly revenue for the first time since 2020. It sank to $21.3 billion over the 3 months ended March, worse than analysts expected and about $2 billion down on a year earlier. Revenue per vehicle also fell as a result of repeated price cuts, with net profits cut by more than a half in consequence. Tesla recently said it would lay off more than 10% of its workforce amid waning demand.
11 Republicans, including former Arizona GOP chair and state legislators, are facing charges for falsely declaring Donald Trump's victory in Arizona's 2020 election. The grand jury indictment implicates Trump as an unindicted co-conspirator. The indictment, reached on Tuesday and unsealed on Wednesday, stems from the attempt by Trump and his allies to pressure election officials in several states in the U.S. to overturn the presidential election won by Joe Biden, efforts for which Trump has been indicted in Georgia and in the U.S. federal courts as well. The group, nominated as Republican electors, signed a certificate claiming Trump won the state. Arizona's Attorney General vowed to protect democracy while Biden won the state by over 10,000 votes. The group's lawsuit challenging Biden's victory was dismissed by a federal judge for lack of legal standing and evidence. During a recent earnings call, Mark Zuckerberg expressed his conviction that Meta is poised to become a leading artificial intelligence company, heralding a new era of technological advancement and profitability. This confidence stemmed from the release of Llama 3, Meta's latest AI model, which has bolstered Zuckerberg's optimism about the company's AI capabilities and its potential to revolutionize various sectors. Despite the slump in stock price, Zuckerberg remains bullish, citing AI's potential for profit through business messaging, ads in AI interactions, and selling access to models. As Meta ramps up its AI efforts, Zuckerberg assured investors of long-term gains despite the immediate expenditure. Keeping it with tech giants, Google's decision to delay the phase-out of third-party cookies in Google Chrome until early 2025, announced recently, has sparked concerns among regulators. While the move appears beneficial for user privacy, regulators fear it could further consolidate Google's dominance in digital advertising. The United Kingdom's Competition and Markets Authority is scrutinizing Google's plans under its Privacy Sandbox for the Web program. Google emphasized the need for continued engagement with the industry, regulators and developers, acknowledging the challenges in reconciling diverse feedback. The delay allows the CMA of the UK to review evidence, including industry tests, by the end of the month of June. Third-party cookies, often used to track users across websites, raise privacy concerns, prompting some users to opt for privacy-focused browsers like Brave and DuckDuckGo, or manually clear cookies. Meanwhile, Apple is gearing up for a game-changing event on the 7th of May, hinting at a major overhaul for its iPad lineup. With current designs dating back to the year 2018 and sales on the decline, the tech giant is looking to reinvigorate interest in its tablet offerings amidst a challenging market landscape. This report tells you more.
The iPad may finally be getting a major revamp. Apple said Tuesday that it would host an event on May 7th. And reports suggest that will be the moment for new models of its tablet computers. The current iPad designs have been on sale since 2018, albeit with periodic updates. Any launch would also come amid declining sales for the product. iPad shipments dropped by 25% over the first quarter, with the broader market for such gadgets under duress as consumers cut back on non-essential spending. Apple sells 5 models of the tablet, but they contributed less than 6% of its turnover in the year-end quarter. Now the tech giant is in need of a boost amid signs that sales are also slowing for its flagship iPhone. Figures this week showed sales of the handset slumped 19% over the first quarter in China, the world's biggest market for phones. It's suffering as local rivals including Huawei step up competition. Worldwide, Apple has lost its title as top phone maker to Samsung. That's according to estimates by industry experts IDC. The firm is yet to disclose any details of what new products the May event might see.
Shifting focus to Wall Street, which witnessed a turbulent day of trading with stocks remaining relatively flat despite mixed earnings reports from tech giants. The Dow saw a slight dip while the S&P 500 closed nearly unchanged, but in positive territory, and the Nasdaq edged up slightly. This Reuters report gets you the lowdown on the action on Wall Street.
A choppy trading day ended with stocks little changed on Wednesday amid mixed earnings reports from technology giants. The Dow dipped about 0.1%, the S&P 500 ended essentially flat but in the green, and the Nasdaq gained 0.1%. Shares of Meta Platforms, down 0.5% at the close, plunged more than 12% in after-hours trading despite beating first-quarter revenue estimates. Investors appeared less pleased with the tech giant saying its capital expenditure could reach up to $40 billion in 2024. Tesla shares jumped 12% after the electric vehicle maker's plans to boost production and roll out more affordable models overshadowed Tuesday's weak quarterly results. Microsoft and Alphabet are scheduled to report their results later this week. Melissa Brown, managing director of applied research at SimCorp, says that while earnings so far have been pretty good, there's a lot more data to come.
It's hard to say whether they're going to send stocks back up. It really depends on how, what numbers are reported. Are we seeing, continued resilience to inflation? Or on the other hand, are we seeing, higher costs, higher input costs, and therefore shrinking profit margins?
In other company news, shares of Boeing fell nearly 3% after the plane maker reported its first quarterly revenue drop in 7 quarters, even though the result beat analyst expectations. Texas Instruments climbed more than 5.5% after the chipmaker forecast second quarter revenue above analysts' estimates. And Hasbro shares rose nearly 12% after the toy maker reported a smaller than expected drop in first quarter sales and handily beat profit estimates.
Shares of French luxury group Kering tumbled by as much as 9%, hitting their lowest point in over 6 years. Investors struggled with the revelation of a projected 40 to 45% plunge in first half operating profit, casting a shadow over the luxury brand's financial outlook. Here's more.
Kering shares fell as much as 9% in early trade on Wednesday, hitting their lowest level in over 6 years. That's after the French luxury goods company warned it expected profits to plunge as much as 45% over the first half. Kering reported late on Tuesday that first quarter sales declined 10% as shoppers curbed spending on products from its star label Gucci, reflecting a wider slowdown in luxury buying. In the all-important Chinese market, a property crisis and high youth unemployment have weighed on shoppers' appetite for high-end fashion. The company said it does not expect much improvement in the second quarter. So far this year, Kering's share price has lost around a fifth of its value. Its dive on Wednesday marked the biggest one-day drop since March the 20th, which was a day after Kering warned Q1 sales would fall, dashing hopes it had stemmed a sales decline at Gucci. The century-old Italian fashion house, which accounts for half of group sales and 2/3 of profit, is undergoing an overhaul. And with new Gucci products becoming more available later in the year, the company is positive about a recovery in the second half. Kering's performance dragged down shares in some peers, including Britain's Burberry. French rivals LVMH and Hermès recovered from early drops, however, with the pair seen as among the strongest players in the luxury sector.
Dutch beer maker Heineken surpassed expectations with a strong first quarter performance. The global brewer reporting a remarkable 4.7% year-on-year growth in the first quarter, exceeding analysts' predictions and reinforcing its annual forecast.
Heineken sold more beer than expected in the first quarter. It reported a year-on-year growth in Q1 of 4.7%, sticking to its forecast for the year. The world's second largest brewer said the amount that beer volumes rose was almost double analysts' expectations. Its shares increased as much as 1.6% in early trading and have since dropped marginally. Heineken is focused on restoring volume growth this year, which was hurt in 2023 as it hiked its prices to offset the all-round rising costs from energy to barley. The company's CEO said that all regions posted higher volume and net revenue. He added that the quarter was helped by an early Easter and one-off effects. In February, Heineken disappointed investors with a cautious growth forecast, saying it could be anywhere between a low and high single-digit percentage this year. That was due to uncertainty around important markets Nigeria and Vietnam. But volume rose almost 20% in Nigeria and in the low teens for Vietnam. Still, the brewer said it continued to see the economic environment as, quote, challenging and uncertain, and it couldn't extrapolate the reported top-line growth to the rest of the year.
Lloyd's banking group faces challenges as first quarter pre-tax profit dipped by nearly 30%. The banking giant's earnings took a hit amidst rising costs, peaking interest rates, and fierce competition within the mortgage sector. This report tells you all about the factors affecting Lloyd's group's performance and the implications as well.
Lloyd's bank profits tumbled 28% over the first quarter. The UK lender ran into a storm of headwinds, including rising costs, peaking interest rates and intensifying competition. That saw pre-tax profit tumble to £1.6 billion, or about $2 billion. Lloyd's shares fell 2% in early trade following the numbers, but later rallied. The bank said rising costs were driven by factors including severance payments following a round of layoffs. Competition saw its earnings from lending squeezed as well, though executives say the pressure on profit margins should now start to ease. British banks had enjoyed a surge in profits over recent years as policymakers hiked interest rates to beat inflation. Lenders were able to make more on the gap between what they pay to depositors and what they charge for loans. Now a robust housing market remains key for Lloyd's, and there are positive signs. It expects house prices to rise 1.5% this year, when it had previously forecast a fall. Figures for March showed home prices rising at their fastest pace since late 2022.
Now, it was a dramatic moment as a Lufthansa Boeing airplane stunned onlookers with a touch-and-go landing that was captured live on YouTube. The commentators' astonishment echoed through the broadcast, labeling it as the roughest landing ever witnessed. Take a look at this.
We're getting that go around. Holy moly. Wow. Going around. That is the roughest landing I think we've ever caught on our broadcast. Holy moly.
2920 traffic 6 mile final, runway 24 right, on its way.
24 right, on its way, that was 29.
Butter. Butter this time around.
In a significant leap forward in human-robot interaction, engineers at Columbia University's Creative Machines Lab have unveiled Emo, a robot designed to mirror human facial expressions with accuracy. With its advanced capabilities, Emo promises to revolutionize the way we engage with robots, bridging the gap between man and machine like never before.
This AI-integrated robotic face can predict a smile before it happens. It's called Emo, and it can anticipate and mimic human facial expressions. Engineers at Columbia University's Creative Machines Lab say they believe it is a significant advance in improving interaction quality and fostering trust between humans and robots. Through advancements like ChatGPT, many robots have made strides in verbal communication, but their ability to take in and express facial cues has lagged.
So robots become more advanced and complicated, like those powered by AI models. There's a growing need to make these interactions more intuitive.
This is Yuang Hu, a PhD student at the Creative Machines Lab.
Emo is equipped with several AI models, including detect human faces, controlling facial actuators to mimic facial expressions, and even anticipating human facial expressions. This allows Emo to interact in a way that feels timely and genuine.
Emo's human-like head uses 26 actuators for a range of facial expressions and is covered with soft silicone skin. It features high-resolution cameras in its eyes for lifelike interactions and eye contact, crucial for nonverbal communication. The robot was trained using a process termed self-modeling, wherein Emo made random movements in front of a camera, learning the correlation between its facial expressions and motor commands. It was then shown videos of human expressions. A study published in Science Robotics described Emo as being able to anticipate human facial expressions and mimic them simultaneously, even predicting a forthcoming smile. Hu is the study's lead author.
Our next step involves integrating verbal communication capabilities. This will allow Emo to engage in a more complex and natural conversations.
And staying with artificial intelligence, in a bid to predict the medicinal properties of plants, scientists in London have embarked on a quest to research the medicinal secrets hidden within the vast diversity of plant life. Leveraging the capabilities of AI technology, researchers are delving into a newly constructed family tree of the world's flowering plants, seeking therapeutic properties nurtured by these botanical treasures.
Scientists are using AI to find potential new medicines in plants. They say artificial intelligence can predict which unexplored plant species might hold potential for novel treatments. The new study centers around what they call the plant tree of life, which is essentially a family tree of plants. Scientists are hoping that unlocking the plant tree of life could even help find solutions to challenges like climate change, conservation, and food security. A team at London's Royal Botanic Gardens, Kew, has sequenced the DNA of more than 9,500 flowering plants, including 800 species for the first time. Melanie Jane Howes is a senior research leader who will use the data in her research.
So by understanding accurately, as from this data set, how plants are related, this can enable us to understand how plants might have evolved and how they might have similar characteristics or properties that have enabled them, for example, to survive in their own environments, but also, again, to help us identify which traits are common to closely related species to help us with potentially finding solutions to many challenges.
The dataset used 1.8 billion letters of genetic code to develop a comprehensive map of the evolutionary history of the plants. It's expected to help in the discovery of new medicinal compounds. By cross-referencing the genetic sequences with known medicinal properties, AI can predict which unexplored plant species might hold potential for novel treatments. In addition to medicinal discovery, the data will assist in identifying new species, refining plant classification, and supporting conservation efforts. The team has made all the data accessible to encourage more discoveries from the plant tree of life.
And with that, it's a wrap here on this edition of World Business Report. Thank you so much for watching.